Next question. So you're probably wondering why there's so many microphones in front of me. No, I'm not doing a press conference. We are going to be comparing a couple different microphones that we use on a daily basis. So throughout the video, we're gonna be switching between the different microphones, and we'll kind of include, text on the screen so you can follow along and hear the actual sound coming from the various microphones. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, on my person, I have a Sennheiser AVX Lav with I think it's like the ME2 lavalier microphone. It's just like the kit, the Sennheiser AVX kit. And then this guy over here is the Sennheiser MKH50 P48 condenser microphone, I believe. This guy right here is the Rode NTG3B. And then this guy over here is the Rode podcast microphone. Different microphones for different uses. This isn't a fully comprehensive technical breakdown or anything. It's more so just providing some thoughts and sharing some experience. We've used all of these mics extensively on shoots that we've done for commercial clients and stuff that we've done internally for YouTube and podcasts and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm hoping with this we can kind of provide some value and give you guys some insight if you're thinking about which mic to invest in, or what type of microphone even is going to be best for you, depending on what you're using it for. I'm going to break this down into 5 separate categories. So we're going to talk about the price of each of the microphones, and then we're going to talk about build quality and audio quality of them, followed by the versatility of the microphones, the value, and the intended uses. So starting off, we'll go through prices on all of the microphones. The Sennheiser AVX Lav, I think, retails for about $750 as a kit. It's on the higher end for lavaliers, but also it's definitely not the most expensive lav that you can buy. Going over here, this is the most expensive mic that we have. This is the Sennheiser P48. So that runs, I think, about $1,100, something like that. I haven't checked in a while. We've had it for a long time. Definitely an expensive microphone used on a lot of really big productions. Over here, pretty much one of the industry standards, the NTG3. That guy retails for about $699, I think. And then last but not least, we have the Podcaster microphone, the Rode Podcaster mic, which retails for $100. There's a huge difference price-wise with this guy compared to all of the other mics. For the most part, the other mics are within the same range. And then the Sennheiser P48 is gonna be definitely on the higher end. So next up, we're gonna go into quality. Overall, I think all 4 of these microphones are great. I would not buy one of these microphones if the quality wasn't good, especially because we use all 4 of these microphones to some extent for commercial work and for clients. Having good build quality and, more importantly, audio quality is super important. Just laying that out, all 4 of these microphones are great in regards to quality. Going back to the Lav, the audio quality is very good. Again, it's kind of like a higher middle ground for Lav audio quality. So on the lower end, we'd be looking at a Rode Wireless Go or the DJI equivalent, or I don't know, there's all different companies are making them these days. But that's on the lower end of Lavs. And then kind of going up again to that middle high ground, we're gonna be looking at a Sennheiser AVX or something like that, Countryman, all kinds of stuff like that. And then of course there's the high end microphones, just like anything else, and production gear and video gear can get really, really, really expensive. But I think there's a certain point where you kind of start to see diminishing returns on the quality compared to what you're paying. Build quality of the AVX, super good. The thing that I love the most about the AVX Lav is that it has a built-in receiver in the XLR plugin. So when you plug it into the camera, the receiver and the battery, everything is just in that one little unit, and that's super nice. Other units, you have to plug it into the XLR and then mount it somewhere on your camera. And so it really just streamlines the system. And then with the transmitter unit, it's also pretty nimble and pretty small compared to other units. So overall, it's nice and portable. The build quality is great. The batteries last a super long time. We're super happy with it. Probably gonna be getting a few more units for kind of those multi-person interviews and setups like that where we need multiple lavs, but we'll get into that in a minute. Going over here, the Sennheiser P48, incredible quality. Build quality is awesome. From an audio quality and like fidelity standpoint, all that stuff, this is the best that that you can get from these 4 microphones. You can't use this for everything, but the things that you can use it for, it does an amazing job. It is a super crisp and just overall really nice sounding microphone. It's kind of it has a very full sound to it. So overall, great microphone. Build quality is awesome. Comes in a really nice case that fits everything that comes with it, the different shock mounts and the foam cover and all that stuff. So yeah, overall, super great. Next up to the NTG3B. Again, build quality is awesome. It's I don't know what metal it is, but it's an all metal build, and it fits into kind of like an aluminum tube that screws in. Almost looks like a pipe bomb or something. I don't really think you want to take it through TSA. Super good quality, and it is very portable. It's just a little tube, so you can put it wherever. Audio quality from that guy is super great too. You know, these two I think are pretty comparable for a lot of things. It's a super good quality microphone as well. And then last but not least, we have the Podcaster mic. The quality of this I think is really good for the price. There's definitely a difference, as I'm sure you guys can probably hear, between the different microphones. I think with the Podcaster mic, it's maybe not as full in regards to like the processing and how it sounds, but overall, I think for $100, still a really good microphone. All right, so next up, we're going to get into intended uses and versatility. I'm gonna kind of combine these into one because I think they can be interpreted in the same way. So starting with the lav, I would say the lav is probably the most versatile microphone that you can have. It's really something that you can use almost on any type of shoot and get pretty good audio. For the most part, you're not gonna get amazing audio with the lav, but it's something that you can clip on someone, put under their clothing, spend a couple minutes getting that stuff set up, and then basically be good to go. So overall, a lav mic is super versatile. Typically, we're gonna use that in an interview as a backup microphone, something that we can rely on if a boom mic were to fail or get moved around. And then also anything that's like a talking head that's moving around where we don't have like a boom operator following them around with a boom pole. A lav is just a super easy way to get clean audio, no matter how far someone is from a camera or like a boom microphone. So a lav is super nice because it follows the person around wherever they're going. It's just clipped onto them. So it's something that's great for like one-man bands or people that are doing run and gun stuff and need to set up quickly and still get good audio. Next up, we're gonna go to the P48 again. This mic is not as versatile. So this microphone is almost exclusively going to be for interior dialogue. So if we're doing an interview inside, this is going to be the mic that we're booming, 10 inches away from the subject. Also, it can be used for ADR for like Foley or getting good natural sound if you're inside. It is not meant for outside use as far as I know, or just from my experience. And I don't know the science of the different patterns between these different microphones, so I'm not going to get into that in this video. But I know that this pattern is designed in a specific way where it picks up somebody's voice and it doesn't pick up the acoustics or the reverb of an environment or a room. And so it's great for interior dialogue because, in a lot of interiors, you're dealing with a lot of different types of acoustics and reverb and all of that stuff. And so this microphone is able to get really clean dialogue without getting a lot of that sort of intrusive secondary audio coming in from the environment. So again, this is a super good microphone for the jobs that it does do, but it is not a very versatile microphone. Going over to the NTG3, this is going to be the most versatile boom that we have. So this microphone is kind of our go-to when we just need a really good, clean audio source that's not a lav, and maybe we don't know what the environment's gonna be, or we're gonna do a mix of interior and exterior, or we need, let's say, a camera microphone. So we throw a microphone on the shock mount of a camera and we're doing run and gun documentary stuff. This thing is gonna be really good at all of that stuff. It has a different pickup pattern where it's gonna pick up audio from a further distance than this guy. And also it's gonna do it in a different way where if we're outside and we're doing dialogue, let's say, this thing is gonna do an amazing job. We've been in environments where it's snowing and windy and raining and all kinds of stuff. And this combined with a simple dead cat, or even better, the Rode Blimp, it does an incredible job at picking up really, really clean audio outside without having a lot of that wind noise come in. And then also it's a great interior microphone. Before we got the Sennheiser P48, we used this guy for a long time for all interior dialogue, and it's a great microphone. If we're doing multi-person interviews, we'll typically use both of these. Unless you're like a professional, you really can't tell the difference between these by the way that we mastered and everything else. And so they pair up nicely, and regardless of what the environment is, this thing does a really awesome job. Last but not least, we're gonna go to the podcaster microphone. So this thing is not super versatile. As I said, second to this one, this is the least versatile microphone. And that's to be expected. Even in the name, it's a podcaster microphone. So obviously the intended use is going to be for podcast purposes. We've also used this microphone before just for talking head stuff for YouTube, talking to the camera. And it's a great microphone. It's not quite to the standard quality wise that I would be comfortable using it for client stuff, but I feel fine using it for like internal YouTube stuff, and then also podcast stuff. And I mean, you can't beat the price for $100. We're going to talk about value for these various different microphones and what the best value is for your money. So starting off with the AVX Lav, as I mentioned in the beginning, the AVX is at a price point that's kind of in the upper middle of lavs. I think that the value is awesome, but I also think that for a lot of uses, the Wireless Go 2 by Rode or the other companies that make similar microphones may be a better value for a lot of people, especially when you get the bundle that's like maybe $350 and you get multiple receivers or multiple transmitters, multiple microphones, all that stuff. The quality isn't quite going to be what an AVX Lav is, but again, for a lot of uses, I think that it works. I think when you start to get into more commercial work and working with clients and really trying to get the best audio quality that you can, the AVX comes in, and that's where it's worth spending a couple extra $100 to really get that great audio quality from a lavalier microphone. So I think overall the value is there. Again, it's about $750. So for some situations, maybe save a few $100, get a Wireless Go or something like that. But if you're kind of ready to level up and move into a more professional lavalier microphone, the AVX is an awesome choice. Once again, next up, we're moving to the P48 Sennheiser. Value-wise, this is an interesting one. I don't think that this microphone is for most people. You really have to be at a point where you can justify spending $1,100 on a single microphone. You know, it took us a while to get to that point. I'm super happy that we invested in this microphone. I think that it's, like I've said, for interior dialogue, it's really leveled up what we've been able to do, and just really improve the overall quality of interviews and different talking head stuff that we're shooting interior. So, you know, not the best bang for your buck by any means. It's probably not going to be a microphone for most people, but at the same time, the quality is pretty hard to beat in terms of the audio that you're getting from this microphone. So if you feel that you're at a point where you can justify spending $1,100 on a microphone, then I would say go for it with this microphone. I have no regrets from buying it, but there's a lot of microphones that are going to do the job almost as good for a good amount less. So moving to the NTG3B, the value of this microphone, I would say is unmatched. You can't really beat it. I think for $699, it is a super comparable microphone to like a Sennheiser 416, which is another industry standard in Hollywood and for larger productions. This mic, as I talked about, is super, super versatile. I think if you could only choose one mic to get, this would be my recommendation, the NTG3. It is just an awesome all-around mic. I've had this microphone basically since I started Reverb, and so I've probably used this microphone more than any other microphone on client shoots and paid shoots and all that stuff. And you know, the quality is
is hard to beat. You really can't beat it until you get into microphones like the P48. And overall, super versatile microphone. You can use it for all kinds of different stuff. So I'd highly recommend the NTG3.
Podcaster microphone. So the value of this guy is awesome. For $100, it is a pretty incredible microphone. When I was looking at getting a couple podcast mics, I was comparing this to the Shure SMB7, I believe, or maybe it's the SBM7, something like that, something 7. Compared to this, the Shure I think is about $400 a microphone. So we got 2 of these for $200 compared to what we would have spent on the Shure. If we got 2 of those, would have been about $800. So it's about a fourth of the price. And I watched a lot of videos comparing the quality of both of them. The quality is definitely like a little bit better on the Shure. You can, if you're really listening, you can hear the difference. But at the same time, for $100 for a podcast mic, the way that this is built and just the overall build quality, I really don't think you can beat it for $100. And plus Rode, we love Rode. We have various Rode microphones, not even the ones here, but other microphones as well. And I've always been a fan of Rode. I think that they make awesome stuff. And the build quality, as I mentioned, is super nice. Doesn't look or feel like a $100 microphone, which really makes it a valuable mic to have and to spend $100 on.
So I think to sum it up, I would say depending on your uses, there's maybe a couple different routes to go. I think for most uses, if you're trying to kind of level up with video, start to do more client work, so on and so forth, I think the NTG3 is probably your best bet. If you're trying to start a podcast or something like that, I think there's no question that a couple of these microphones, even if you're going to get 4 of them, if you get 4 of these microphones, you're going to be spending the same amount of money as one of the Shure microphones, which is kind of an industry standard for podcasting. Of course, the lav, I think that a good lav is important for most filmmakers, but I think that there's also some better options for a couple hundred less than an AVX. Not saying that the AVX is bad. I have no regrets with having this. And like I said in the beginning, I think we're gonna be getting more. The quality is great, and for a couple $100 more than a Wireless Go or something like that, I'm down to do that. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you can hear the differences as I'm talking about everything between the different microphones and maybe hear for yourself what sounds better to you. Audio is also kind of a subjective thing where different people have different preferences on sound and what sounds best. So maybe you disagree with me on different things, and that's totally fine. I'll try and link the different microphones in the description. And yeah, as always, if you like the video, drop a like, drop a sub. That's about it. I'll see you in the next one. It's worth spending a couple extra $100 to really get that good, that good.